This election is not a referendum on the Tacoma Junction project. I've been running for 2 or 3 months and I've been talking about all kinds of issues that affect us in the city. But I'm still talking to voters with 10 days left who do feel that their most important issue is what happens to the co-op and what happens with this development. And that's why I'm making this short tutorial to walk you through some of the issues surrounding the Tacoma Junction development process. Okay, so the fateful decision with this development was going big with the underground parking garage. That's super expensive. So what it results in is that NDC has to build this high-end development with high ceilings, the stuff that retailers want in high-end developments. It's also not NDC's goal to keep this crucial sidewalk. They want to move their truck lay-by, which they're hardly even showing here. They want to move it this direction so that they can make more room for, most likely, sidewalk dining for paying customers. This is not the ideal block for a maxed out development because it's the one block in town where you have 2 state highway routes that have to crisscross. So 43% of Tacoma Park residents are renters, and many of them live on fixed incomes or low incomes. And many of them live 2 or 3 blocks from the junction. That's why it's so important for us to get a junction development that has rents set at a level that are going to create retail or dining options that really are essential goods and services for people who live right in this area. Okay, so I'm standing in front of the Tacoma Auto Clinic, and this is where NDC's proposed driveway would be going to and from the underground parking garage. It goes straight down this way. Now, this is a terrible location for an ingress-egress for a large development. Let me show you why. First off, it's right along this curve of Carroll Avenue. So the visibility is very limited, right? The second thing is, it's only a short distance from the stop line of Philadelphia. So if you try to imagine that you've parked in the garage and it's time for you to leave and you want to turn left onto Philadelphia, think about what this looks like during peak hours. How are you going to squeeze your way in, not only across these 2 lanes, but across one more lane to get to where you can turn right onto Philadelphia? And then the same problem happens in reverse for people coming from this direction who want to try to get permission from cars like this to turn into the driveway. It's a terrible design, and yet the city has never put forward the effort to say, come up with something better. I'm just going to show you, you are right now in the driveway that NDC wants to build, and we're looking up the road towards the co-op, right? This is about how much public space would be squeezed between the driveway, the traffic, and the beginning of that truck lay-by. Here, just walk with me. So, something about like this much, okay? Right around here, it's over. Now you're back to sidewalk. What you have beyond here is a truck lay-by that has to get its business done with before you get to the stop line and the crosswalk up there. I forgot to mention, this goes away, right? And there's no explanation of where this bus stop's going to be relocated. Also, this goes away, Capital Bike Share. No explanation of where that's going to be relocated. And last thing, what NDC wants to do in order to create a little bit more public space, they want to get rid of this crosswalk right here, okay? This crosswalk is something that the late K. Daniels Cohen argued for vehemently for years. It was such a triumph when we got it because it linked together 2 neighborhoods at a most crucial place in the city, at the center point of the city. People love this crosswalk. It saves having to cross twice. But NDC wants to do away with all this and move the intersection down that way just to make more room for their truck lay-by so that they don't have to make room for off-street deliveries either for their development or for the co-op. So much of what happens in Tacoma Park has to do with how well you get your development to harmonize with the neighborhood that's often right behind it. So one of the things we have here on Columbia Avenue is that NDC's development, in order to make it work at this point, they want to push what they're calling an underground parking garage out almost all the way to Columbia Avenue at this corner. And it will be above ground at that point. And the neighborhood is reasonably concerned, and rightfully concerned, about noise, lighting, and fumes. So this is, again, maybe not your most crucial issue that you might be thinking about, but it is an important one whenever development happens right near a neighborhood, how to make those things harmonize. The development is supposed to protect the urban forest wooded area. That's in the development agreement. It's actually, in its current configuration, going to push way out into this area, not only with the parking garage itself, but also with required fire access and with the bioretention facility. You can say that a little patch of woods like this doesn't matter, but ask the people downslope who rely on this little patch of wood to absorb stormwater and who rely on it to be an acoustic buffer from the commercial part of town. Or people who just love the fact that deer migrate through this area and that birds and squirrels and crows and hawks find a refuge here and can migrate through various corridors of woods in our community. So I take seriously our city's commitment to growing our urban canopy, and I think it's important, even with a small patch of woods like this, to be serious about saying whether we want this development to be consistent with and align with our climate action and sustainability goals. A year ago, we probably would have been thinking, yeah, we need more interior spaces. It's going to be great for the community. It's great for the economy. Now, we're not so sure we need more office space because people are working from home. We're not so sure we need more retail. Maybe we need more delivery. And we certainly have been benefiting from still having open spaces where people can do things at a safe distance. Yeah, the pandemic's not going to go on forever, but our economy's not going to go back to the same kinds of lifestyles and habits that we had before. So let's talk about the Co-op for a second. It is a locally owned community grocery store that provides healthy food options to people right in the heart of our town. It is the only co-op like this in the entire state of Maryland. It was invited to come here by the city with an agreement that allowed it to use some of the city-owned space to support its operations. It doesn't make sense in terms of green goals, economic development goals, or health goals to be doing anything that would push this co-op to leave Tacoma Park. And I am concerned, and many people have told me they feel almost certain that if this development is allowed to go forward, it will mean the end of the co-op in this location. General want. They want to see a space that's more activated, with another opportunity to eat something, with some affordable retail. They want to see some public space that's flexible for many uses, and they want to see the co-op protected, and they want to see a safe 21st century streetscape that encourages alternate modes of transportation. I think these are things that NDC as a developer still might be able to provide, and all they need to do perhaps is just be pushed by us as the community.